Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every single morning to help you catch up with things that have been taking place in the world of sport whilst you were catching up on some all important sleep, because let's face it, whilst you need sleep, I need sleep, the whole world needs sleep. The world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other that's going on, and it can be a little tough and tiring to keep abreast with every single little development. But worry not, that's what we're here for. And let's start off today's edition of the Morning Wrap with a rather interesting statement that comes courtesy of former New Zealand international Ross Taylor, where he's compared India's cricketing talisman Virat Kohli as far as influence goes with Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi. Now, it's a pretty big statement to make, and whilst I think it's fair to say that no one would expect Kohli to be having the same kind of reach that they would, simply because football is a far more global and the most popular sport in the world, the fact is that when it comes to his own sport, and that is of course the sport of cricket, then Kohli is very much like a Messi or Ronaldo, because quite frankly, he does exert the same amount or that much influence in comparison to, let's say, other cricketers. Brand Kohli as it is, very much unmatchable. So I think it's an interesting statement really from Ross Taylor. Don't forget, Taylor has in fact seen Kohli grow and mature, because the two of them did play together as well in the same IPL franchise. That's an interesting statement. You guys can let me know what you think about this comparison in the comments below. And switching our focus from Virat Kohli to, let's say, some T20 World Cup preparation, and England, well, unfortunately, their preparation for this particular edition of the World Cup is not going well, because of the four T20Is that they have to play against Pakistan, 3 have been played and 2 have been washed out due to rain. Only 1 game so far has seen a result, and that is unfortunate, to put it mildly, especially when you consider that the England and Wales Cricket Board actually pulled out all of the England players from the IPL to be a part of this series, to be a part of a series where they'd all be playing together. But of the 3 matches that have taken place, 2 have been washed out. Even if they end up completing the 4th T20I, you've got to be asking yourself, was it really worth it? Would they not have been better served being in a part of the IPL and actually facing the pressure and intense competition that comes with the IPL playoffs, instead of a meaningless bilateral against Pakistan, which is going to be rain affected anyway? I mean, I don't have the answer to that question, but if you're asking my opinion, I think this entire bilateral seemed ill-fated, haphazard, not very well planned, and doomed from the start. The rain is just the icing on the cake. More T20 World Cup news, and Will Jacks, someone who a lot of fans, Indian fans, would remember for that memorable century he scored against the Gujarat Titans when he was playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore, has opened up on the kind of influence that Virat Kohli has had on him during the brief time that they got to play together. Now, Jacks is someone whose position for England has often alternated. He'll either open, sometimes plays a 3, and his numbers as far as T20Is are concerned are that great. But he is an impactful player, and as the recent IPL showed, is someone who can consistently put the opposition under pressure. But as a relatively young player on the international circuit, he marveled at how Kohli was more often than not sometimes coaching him through games, and even praised the intensity that Virat Kohli had when it came to training sessions. Jack said that, listen, sometimes in training sessions people tend to slack off, but you see Kohli bringing that same intensity and you just wanted to do it. He also talked about how when they were chasing targets, Kohli would sometimes be telling him stuff about how to pace an innings and how to go about things. And Jack said those are great things that I will keep and learn from in the future. Definitely, I think Jacks could learn from no one better really when it comes to chases, regardless of the format of cricket. And speaking of players who have done well in chases or T20 cricket in recent times, many fans were surprised when this man right here, Rinku Singh, did not make it to the T20 World Cup squad of India of the 15. He is a travelling reserve, but travelling reserves are only going to step into the squad in case there is some sort of an injury. And Rinku Singh has now opened up at long last about how he felt about that particular snub, saying that, listen, when it happened, I definitely felt hurt, but I understand it came down to team combinations. When me and Rohit Bhaiya, that is Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, had a chat, he said that, look, just keep working hard. There's another T20 World Cup in 2 years, and there's every chance you'll be a part of that tournament. Truth be told, I understand the team combination logic, but I would have still found a way to fit him in because he does what few people in this world really can, and that is do consistently well in a pressure situation of being able to finish games. India don't really have a finisher right now, and pardon me, but I don't think Hardik Pandya and Jadeja are going to be finishers. Their batters were better suited to batting in the upper part rather than lower down the order, but you're going to be accommodating them there because, truth be told, you have no choice. So keeping Rinku as a travelling reserve is still a strange decision, but I'm not the one who makes those decisions. Switching our focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and we know it's the Champions League final week and it's going to be taking place in Wembley, but there have been some instances that have been taking place in Champions League finals recently wherein security issues have cropped up. In 2022, there was issues with, let's say, how it is that fans were managed that almost caused riots. In 2023, also the organization was in fact criticized. So now in 2024, Wembley Stadium, where the final is going to be played, have put in extra security measures to ensure they can deal with any such situations that may crop up. Worth noting also that Wembley was the venue of the Euro 2020 final, wherein after the game there were plenty of ugly scenes. So it's understandable that the London venue would double down on good security. Not only is its own reputation at stake, even the Champions League final has been a little bit cursed in recent times, and they'd want to change that luck. Next bit of footballing news, and this one's interesting really. Manchester United could potentially miss out on playing in the Europa League despite their FA Cup win. How so? Well, as it turns out, the owners of Manchester United, or the new owners, the minority owners of Manchester United, are Ineos, but Ineos also happen to own another club that have qualified for the Europa League in the form of French club Nice. Now, Nice would actually get preference for qualification for the Europa League because current UEFA regulations do not allow for two clubs who are owned by the same entity to actually be competing in the same contest. Now, because Manchester United finished 9th in the Premier League and because Nice finished 5th, Nice would get the automatic slot if it so comes down to UEFA ruling that, listen, United and Nice can't be competing, then United would actually get relegated to the Conference League, which would be pretty funny considering their entire qualification for the Europa League was hinging on them winning the FA Cup against City, which they did. That being said, I'd not worry too much if our United fans. Previous instances have shown that UEFA will be a little lax when it comes to these things. I mean, multiple Red Bull clubs have competed in the Champions League, and there's a few other clubs also who have the same ownership that have competed in the Champions League. So nothing that much to worry about, unless of course something major crops up. A little bit more footballing news, and Jurgen Klopp, who you'd remember is in fact has already in fact left his post as the manager of Liverpool, recently opened up about Manchester City's 115 charges that are currently leveled against them by the Premier League. And Klopp, in his farewell event, in a farewell talk that was organized, said that, listen, if by chance those 115 charges stick and City are stripped of the titles, please Liverpool organize a bus stop parade. I'll be there, I don't care. And truth be told, it underscores the frustration that someone like a Klopp would have, because he put up otherworldly seasons only to be denied by City being just that little bit better. But we also know that City have charges of breaking rules both financially and otherwise. So if those charges really stick and they're charged, I think it would be great if Liverpool end up getting those Premier Leagues retrospectively. Will the Premier League have the gumption to do that though? Truth be told, I doubt. At most, City will be hit with a fine, and this is the best or the worst case scenario if you're Manchester City, is that you'll be hit with a big fine and told not to be doing all of that again. That's at least my opinion. You guys can tell me in the comments if you feel differently about any of this. Switching focus now, and of course, French Open action has been taking place. Novak Djokovic was in action yesterday in his first round game and absolutely breezed through his first round. Straight sets win, easy as you like, not a problem. Despite him obviously getting on in terms of age, Djokovic still remains one of the favorites going into the French Open, and now with Nadal out, would definitely be seen as one of the favorites to clinch this year's edition of Roland Garros. But of course, there's other challengers who'd be there and thereabouts as well, especially from the younger generation, including this man right here, Daniil Medvedev, someone who's actually beaten Djokovic in a Grand Slam final. I'm talking, of course, about the US Open in 2021. Medvedev also got through his first round game relatively easily, but there's a bit of a hiccup. Instead of 3, which is a straight sets victory, he ended up losing 1 set. But even beyond that, the Russian had no problems whatsoever when it came to getting past the finish line thereafter. Easy as you like, not really much of a problem. Another person who had no problems, Casper Ruud, someone who unfortunately has developed a bit of a reputation of being always the bridesmaid but never the bride. The Norwegian ended up breezing through comfortably, got through his first round game as well, and would hope that if he can make it as far as the finals this time around, that he'll actually be able to get beyond and clear that last hurdle, win a first Grand Slam. Ruud, unfortunately, his career at this point has been defined by reaching 2 Grand Slam finals and not winning even one of them. Can his luck change? Again, you guys can let me know that in the comments. But for now, that's it for this edition of the Morning Wrap with Sports Today. Thank you guys so much for joining us as always. It's been a pleasure joining you guys, and if you enjoy our work, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTech app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've posted, and stay tuned. We've got plenty more coming your way. For now though, from my side, it is goodbye.